Welcome back to another episode of my Seattle Mariners franchise here on MLB The Show 25, where we are currently 9.5 games up in the AL West here in year two, looking to win our second straight division title, and currently having the best record as we head into September in the American League. So hoping to end up with that top seed. We're 8-2 over our last 10. We've looking really good. I mean, it's hard to really deny that. We've been very successful here. Over the last little bit, had a really strong August. I think the headline, other than having a successful month, would certainly be the big extension here to Cal Raleigh through the 2030 season. Just at $12 million a year, I think is a very reasonable price for a catcher and a guy like Raleigh, who is arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable at this point. I think he's the best position player on the team, at least the most valuable, as we take just a look at just our players and sort them by WAR. Accidentally clicked career stats. Sorry. Let's see if I can ever find it. 5.7 for him. So this has obviously been a career year for Cal Raleigh. Should end up at a 6 WAR season. Has increased his batting average now over the last 2 years up to a career high 265. And again, this is not a guy that's really known for his average. Big jump in his on base percentage. And he really got back to his slugging ways this year. 29 homers after just 18 last year. Certainly think he's going to end up getting to that 30 homer mark. And, you know, after what to me was kind of a lackluster 2025 season, he still matched his WAR from the 2024 season. He's taking a big jump this year. He's obviously a great defensive catcher, a lot of power. So he's kind of, to me, overtaken Julio as our best all-around player, right? But a lot of his value comes from being a superb defensive player, because Julio has actually struggled this year offensively. Just hitting 250 over his last 10, 249 over the season after just a 246 average last year. The on base percentage is dropping again this year. The slugging is down, still up from 2024. He's hit 22 homers, likely to get another 2020 season, which he has done every year he's been in the majors. But I do think with him at 94 overall, he's very close to his potential cap. I think that this is probably pretty close to, I mean, you would expect a slightly better offensive season. But I think 2025 is kind of about the baseline max that we can really expect out of Julio. Still obviously a very valuable player. Still the franchise cornerstone in general. You know, he's made the All-Star team in both seasons, but he has definitely struggled to stay hot. He's been a really good first half offensive player for us, and then has struggled on the back half. The pitching rotation has been great. Luis Castillo is now going through a bit of a stretch of struggles here, a 4.61 ERA over his last 10, but has really ballooned up with his really bad outing against Houston, where he gave up 5 runs in just an inning, had back-to-back bad starts at the end of July, early August. Still got him for one more year, but he's definitely struggling. The rest of the rotation has been tremendous. Bryce Miller has been all-time elite, right there in the Cy Young discussion. I would say he's absolutely leading that right now heading into this portion of the season. Don't know why he's below Wu, to be honest with you, in the rotation. I don't know if something happened between somebody getting injured, somebody trying to get corrected. The bullpen has been a little weak. So this back half, we did get Andres Munoz back, which really helps. It was able to bring Brash out of that closer spot where he was kind of going through some struggles. He's been a lot better here over his last 10. The bullpen in general, at least the group that we have up now, has been much more valuable. We did send down Gregory Santos, who was really good for us in limited action in 2025, but was hurt this year. 41 innings, 6.10 ERA. He got moved down to Double-A, just kind of trying to get him right. But let's get things started here. As we get into September, let's get through this Giants series. We'll simulate through that. We ended up winning that game 6-5. Jimmy Joyce out for a few days. That'll be fun. Must have 28 players after September 1st. Okay. Forgot we had to do that. Let's, Santos, has he pitched it all at AA? So far, he's pitched 13 innings. Been pretty good. Let's just bring Santos back up. I think that's the easy thing to do here. Put him back in the bullpen. Who do we want to bring up? Because I certainly would be interested in bringing up Adrian Ramirez here. Our top prospect has gotten a big boost this year. 18 years old, 78 overall, high B potential. 809 OPS, 19 home runs. Luke Raley is kind of struggling, but he has been largely pretty good this year. Obviously struggling as of late. Don't want to quite make that decision yet, I don't think. Rengifo has also really risen here over the last month or so. Looking a lot more like the player that we signed him to be. Nobody really there. Okay. Cole Young. Kind of getting it back going again. He's having a nice 10-game stretch. Had a bit of a slide there in July, but still looking like he'll be Major League ready next year. Arroyo moved up to AAA and has really struggled after mashing AA. That's not the best thing to see. How's Celestine doing? Looking okay. Okay. So let's, who do we want to bring up? So obviously we got a lot of outfielder types here. You can bring up maybe another just position player. Mitch Garver. Do you want to bring up Harry Ford? Maybe try to get him some at-bats or just kind of let him do his thing. Winker is really just a DH. We can bring up Ken Zone. Pretty solid defender. Can really hit righties pretty decently. We'll move him up to the MLB here. Then we'll keep things rocking and rolling. We'll simulate this one. End up losing that one 2-1. Can we finish up here against the Giants? Ended up winning this series. Let's actually hop into this. We got the bases loaded here. Top of the fifth. Cal Raleigh at the plate with 2 outs. See if we can take the lead. You see, we've been obviously an outstanding pitching team, the best pitching staff in baseball, in my opinion. The offense has been really good. Homers are down a little bit. But the stolen bases, on base percentage, runs, all in the top 5. So done a nice job with that. Jesse Winker has been a big part of that. And the big explosion this year for Cal Raleigh into MVP form, I think, has been probably the single biggest thing.
All one's the count.
Swing at a curveball. I have not played this very much since going on my honeymoon a couple of weeks ago. So still a little rusty. Let's see if we can get something to drive here.
1-1.
Watch that one, not going anywhere. 1-1 count. Robbie Ray still can get up to 96 miles an hour, so it does still have a pretty big fastball in the repertoire.
That's a ball.
2-1, should
two
be a
balls,
3-0 count. I think Ray's going to try to attack us here. Got ready to swing. Raleigh's been so good this year. Oh, my goodness. He has not thrown a strike yet in this at-bat. The high fastball is my biggest weakness in this one.
Counts full.
Watch that one. So he has thrown 5 pitches here to Raleigh, and 0 of them have been actual, legitimate, in-the-zone strikes.
3.
And then a devastating slider there in a 3-2 count. Ends up striking out Raleigh with the bases loaded. See if we get another situation here. We do not. And the Giants end up winning the series. Win this game 3-1. George Kirby, solid. 5 innings pitched. Just did not hit. Gave up 3 runs, only one of them being earned. Luis Rengifo's error kind of cost him there. Bullpen was really good, though. Just did not hit at all. 8 hits, 4 walks. Just could not string anything together. We'll hop out of that one. So after going 8-2 on our last 10, we come into this episode and immediately lose the first series. Not what you like to see. This team faded before we lost to the Twins there in the wild card round last year. We really faded in September. We were looking at kind of being the 2 seed. That'll be the thing that we're really trying to watch for in this episode, to see if we can hold on to that top spot here in the American League. Try to get to that 92 or 3 win level, I think would be great. The Rangers are really who we battled this season, but we've kind of taken this division away from them. Andres Munoz on the mound here, top of the ninth. No outs, but we've already given up 2 base runners. Up 2-0. We'll hop in here, see if we can get the save with Munoz. Would be nice to see that. Yeah, offense, man. Really have improved that over the course of, just this 2 years that we've been in this series. Munoz on the mound. Good slide piece there. Berger, of course, has got enough pop to give the Rangers the lead right here. Fastball not exactly where I wanted. Maybe get it by Berger, though. Quick 0-2 count.
1-2.
Not getting to chase the slider. Gotta go sinker low and out of the zone. Really good sinker. Don't get him to swing. Go right back to the fastball here. Pretty much down the middle. It's low in the zone, but a 99-mile-an-hour strikeout there for Andres Munoz. Now it's Josh Jung having a pretty solid season. 767. OPS, 13 homers. Munoz. It's a tough pitch. Jung is due for a hit here against Munoz. 0 for 6 in his career. Perfect fastball.
Ball.
Back to the slider. They're saying that Jung did not swing at that, though. The sinker inside. Left that sinker over the middle of the plate, but Munoz able to get away with it there. Gotta go fastball up and in.
Full count.
Way too far up. 3-2 count. Go back to the slider.
Ball 4.
Below the zone, so we have walked the bases loaded. With Garcia at the plate, 0 for 3 day for him.
Ball 1.
Obviously a very, very tough out. Come on, Munoz. That could be a double play ball. Crawford to Rengifo. Rengifo over to Raley. Gets the out at first base. The Mariners able to get the win here to start this series with Munoz closing it out. I don't think I've ever had Munoz as a thumbnail player. See if we can maybe make a little something. See if we can make a little something work here. MLB The Show game. It's hard to get a good thumbnail picture if you don't just kind of have one organically pop up. You can't zoom in and kind of fix the camera. But we do get a win there to start that series. Winker hits a home run. Raleigh with a double. I believe Burleson is who knocked in Raleigh, if I'm not mistaken there. It was Burleson that knocked him in. So, again, not a great offensive day. See what happens this Saturday game. Randy Arozarena at the plate, bottom 7th. 2 outs. We are down 2 runs. Let's hop in here and see if we can maybe tie this one up. The Arozarena, who, of course, is on the last year of team control. Do you I just don't know. I think he is anyway. I may be speaking out of turn. It's been a minute since I've looked. Yes, okay. He is on his last year here. Last year of arbitration. He has been exceptional this year. Fly out here, unfortunately. Arozarena, I think, is going to be a very big deal for us contractually this offseason, trying to make moves. What do we want to do? He obviously came up at a little bit of an older age, unfortunately. You get a chance to jump back in here down. 1 run, bottom of the 8th. Got a runner on first. J.P. Crawford at the plate. 0 for 7 in the series. Crawford still having a really, really strong season. He is also a free agent at the end of this year. A decent slurve to swing at. I think Crawford is definitely a guy I want to bring back. I tried to offer him and Arozarena 1-year deals. That swing.
No balls, 2 strikes.
0-2 count. Yep, that's going to be a fly out to center field. Actually got a pretty decent piece of that pitch considering we were behind it. But yeah, Crawford and Arozarena, obviously in the middle of the season, did not want to sign 1-year deals. Of course, we do have Winker next year. He got off to a crushing start like the first 3 months of the season. Still been really, really good. Has been essentially everything I've asked for him to be. That was going to get down. It's going to be a double in the gap. Marlowe is going to score from first base, and this game is tied. Jesse Winker. And just continues to be a major focal point. This offense, he has been so good for us. And kind of the everyday sim lineup, he should be hitting third a lot for us. Big time swing there. But yeah, moved Julio down the lineup, at least for regular simulation. Do we maybe want to do this? DH. It's a big time spot here. Yeah, we can bring a little Robles in. Luis Rengifo. Maybe I moved him to third. I did move him to third spot, I think, in the simulation. Got to run at second, one out. Rengifo at the plate, backed off there. Yeah, glad to get Winker. We're glad we've gotten a bounce back second half here from Luis Rengifo. Not having a great day today, but I think what we've seen over the last month and a half or so is a lot more of what we can expect for him last year. More of what I expected to when I brought him in. You know, a 300-ish average, a 350-ish on base percentage. Enough slugging where he's not,
1 and 2.
you know, strictly a Luis Ariz, excuse me,
2-2.
type of hitter where it's all singles, 11 homers, and it hasn't been bad. 2-2 count, runner still at second, one out.
Full count.
Rengifo backed off the plate there. Raleigh on deck, just a 193 average runs to score position, as great as he's been this year. Full count, Rengifo. Robles at second, Dunning to the plate, fouled off. Way ahead of that one. Yeah, his contact against righties and lefties, the clutch, the vision, like I really expected Rengifo to be much more solid over the course of this year. Glad to see he's had a bounce back second half. Fouled that one away too. It's a good slider. Got me to chase. 3-2 count here, still to Rengifo. Dunning. Oh, thank goodness he was able to foul that one away. I don't know if it's something with this camera angle. I kind of always struggle at laying off pitches, especially up in the zone. Rengifo gets a decent piece of this one, and in fact, he hits it out 351 feet. Luis Rengifo give the Mariners the lead. A big 8th inning here for Seattle. They're now up 4-2. The Jesse Winker double scores Marlowe from first. Rengifo then goes deep, knocks in himself and Robles, of course, who replaced Winker there at second base. Really nice way there to give us the lead, and now Raleigh is at the plate. We will see Julio in this inning now as well.
Call.
Good cutter there from Dunning. Does not get the call. Still looking for the 30th homer here for Raleigh.
Hey.
That's a good pitch to hit. Trying to work on being more selective because the next episode will be the playoffs. Unless we really get to like the last series of the season, still trying to get that top spot. If that's the case, I might do a little bit more of a focused episode at that. But as of right now, at least the plan is to get all the way through September today into the postseason.
Hey.
I think I've swung
0
at
balls,
every
1
single
strike.
pitch below the zone with Julio in this series.
That's a ball.
There we go, 1-1. As you see, this is kind of the lineup that we're rocking with now. J.P. Crawford, Jesse Winker, Raleigh, Julio down at the 5th spot as that
1 and
on
2 is
base
the count.
percentage continues to slide, still below 300. I don't know how we missed that slider there. 1-2 count. Able to get that one up the middle, though. Julio with a base hit. That'll work. Dunning doesn't throw incredibly fast. Might go ahead and try to steal, get him on second base. I think that's what we're going to do. See if Raleigh can then knock him in from second. Julio is off. Did not get a great jump.
Hey.
Good throw probably gets him there. But Julio gets his 20th stolen base, so he now is at that 2020 season. It was a strike on Rayleigh, though. Really good cutter there again. 0-1 count. Rayleigh gets something to smoke and drives that on the right field line, but it is foul. 0-2 count now. Rayleigh looking for his 20th home run.
That's a ball.
Rayleigh had that huge second half in 2025. Looking to continue a pretty strong campaign, but does strike out here. Not before the Mariners tack on 4 runs here in the 8th inning. Luis Rengifo, of course, with the biggest swing being that 2-run homer. We'll go ahead and we'll just return to simulating here. And we do end up getting the victory. Nice late effort there from the offense. Let's see if that score ended up holding, and it did, 4-2. Who was on the mound for the Mariners here? Luis Castillo. 6 innings, 2-run ball. And that's a perfectly solid day. The bullpen was really good again. Throwing a nice little stretch here with the bullpen. Josh Jung did hit a 2-run homer, but otherwise, Luis Castillo was really clean. The pitching staff was really good. Rengifo with the big homer. Blanco with 2 doubles. And, of course, Winker got his big swing there as well. 4-2. So we've already won this series here against the Rangers. A really nice job of bouncing back there after losing that series to the Giants. Now let's see, we get here on the Sunday. So we do clean sweep the Rangers. The offense has not been great, but the pitching staff has been really good again. Jorge Polanco with another home run. Rengifo, Raleigh, each with RBIs. Polanco with 2 himself. Gets stolen bases from Raleigh and Julio. Brian Wu, great again. Spire was really good out of the bullpen over his 2 innings of work. Now we get a bases loaded situation here. It's early in the game. We'll simulate that one. Ended up losing 1-0 to the Reds. Bounced back with a 5-1 win. Munoz ends up giving the losing run here. Bryce Miller just exceptional. 1.83 ERA. Munoz gives up that lead. Then we win 5-1 again this next day. And actually took on Rhett Lauder. Looks like he's been solid. I don't know how much he's pitched. Bliss and Garver go deep. Kirby, fantastic start for him. See if we can win this series here against the Reds. We do not. We end up losing that one. Now as we get into this Miami series, we are 4 games up on both the Royals and the Orioles as far as the American League standings are concerned. We'll take that. Need to really take advantage here against the Marlins. We do get an 8-0 win there. Let's see if Castillo ended up did not get the full game. So didn't get the complete game shutout. Do get the shutout though as a team. Looks like a really nice day. A lot of guys with multiple hits. 13 in total. Winker and Rengifo each with 2 RBIs. Raleigh, Julio, and Rayleigh also knock runners in. Rosarena with 2 stolen bases is nice. Yeah, Brian Wu versus Max Meyer. We win this series here against the Marlins. 4 RBI day for Julio. Gets a double. Must have been a bases loaded situation. So it's good to see that. Brian Wu with another fantastic start. And let's finish it up here. Yuri Perez versus Bryce Miller, 2 of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And it is going to be Bryce Miller that comes out on top. Home runs from Raleigh. That's Raleigh's 30th. Julio, Polanco, and Burleson all go deep. Bryce Miller, phenomenal yet again. Kind of scattered around some hits, but didn't walk anybody. We will take that. Didn't really beat up Perez, but did get to Thomas White as we head into another series here against the Rangers. Looking pretty good when it comes to having the best record in the American League. And Cy Young, Bryce Miller, still there at the top. Logan Gilbert right behind him. Still got Gilbert for another year. Man, that's really cool. Bryce Miller could be winning the Cy Young. Let's see if we can take this one game at a time. Polanco, we'll simulate that one. End up coming back and winning that game 10-6. A late offensive explosion. Rengifo, Polanco, and Rayleigh all go deep. 3 hits for Crawford, Rengifo, multiple hits from Winker, Julio, and Rosarena. It's good to see. 4 RBI day for Rengifo, 3 RBI day for Polanco. Rosarena with another 2 stolen base game. Kirby wasn't great in this game. Salcedo was not tremendous either, but Brash and Snyder did a nice job on the back end. Gilbert has a shutout going. Let's simulate that one. Ended up winning that game 12-1, so we don't get the shutout. Luke Raley goes deep, so he's now in the 20s. Julio with a double and an RBI. Raley with 4 ribbies. Burleson with 2 himself. Logan Gilbert does go the complete game, but does give up a run. Julio's average is now back up to 250, which is good. A couple of guys there with multiple hits. See if we can, with Luis Castillo on the mound, get us a sweep. All right, so we are up by 1. Castillo on the mound. 2 runners on. Let's hop in here. Pitch a little bit with Castillo, and if we have any situation with Miller, I definitely want to hop in, see if we can help him secure that Cy Young. If not, what I might do is hop in and do at least a little bit of like a player lock maybe with him. I think would be kind of cool, or at least the version of player lock I do, where I just kind of simulate the at bats and just pitch and field.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Quick 0-2 count here for Castillo against Garcia. Trying to get out of this mess here, holding on to that lead. That one in the dirt. Raleigh with a nice job of blocking it up. Garcia 2 for 2 today off of Castillo. Get a backdoor slider. Didn't quite get the backdoor, but did get the swing. Castillo is able to get out of that inning. Now we're kind of in the same situation. Now it's Matt Brash on the mound, though. Yoenis Garcia, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, 2 on. Seattle still up 1. So start fastball, get the call there, 99 on the black. What is Garcia's season stats looking like? 239, 21 homers, 15 RBIs, or 15 stolen bases. Been really bad with runners in scoring position, though. Get the call. That was not a great slurve, not at all where I wanted that to go. We will take it. We can go slider way away and get Garcia to chase. He does not. It's a good slider as well. Fastball is dangerous against Garcia. He does foul that one off. 101 from Brash, though. Go back to that slider, opposite corner. That one's hit hard, but Rengifo gobbles it up. Throw over to first. Garcia was out. So it looks like we might end up getting us another victory here. Julio adds on a 2 RBI double there in the top, and we do, in fact, get the 5-2 win here over Texas. Rengifo goes deep. 2 RBIs from Julio, 1 from Raley, 2 from Rengifo. Castillo was really good. Brash kind of got himself into some trouble there. We're able to pitch around it. Nice job pitching out of those bad situations from Castillo and from Brash. Help us get that victory. Rangers have not had a lot of success against us this year. As we do complete that sweep, we have now gotten back-to-back sweeps. We've won 6 games in a row, up to 94 wins with a couple of weeks left here in the season. 88 wins for the Orioles. 88. This is pretty much have locked up the best record in the league. So that's really cool to see. Now we get a trip to take on Atlanta. Actually, we're at home against Atlanta. Sorry. Bases loaded. We'll go ahead and simulate that one. Get a 5-3 win over Atlanta. They have Kyle Schwarber is now IKF has joined the team. Drake Baldwin is up but struggling. Beat up on Grant Holmes. Luke Raley ends up going deep. Woo was okay. Didn't go very deep. The bullpen was really, really good behind him. Munoz gets a save to close that one out. We have a Bryce Miller versus Bryce Elder. Bryce versus Bryce game. Adrian Ramirez hurting out for a couple of days. That might end his season. Munoz, top of the 8th, 2 outs. We'll simulate it. End up winning that game 4-3 as well. We are on a tear. 10 straight wins. Raleigh and Burleson go deep. Bryce Miller, phenomenal yet again. Rogers, Munoz, close the door there at the end. Julio has still got the average coming up. Raleigh's still been really good. And that probably clinches Bryce Miller winning the Cy Young the year that we give him the big extension. Love to see that. Another bases loaded situation for Luke Raley at the plate. 3-3, we'll go ahead and simulate it. And we do finally lose a game. And we are now at the end of the minor league schedule. So I think this is the last time we can take a look at some of our guys' stats. We face Strider, end up losing here. We're in Hefo. I don't know if he maybe hits a grand slam, but a home run and 4 RBIs. He has been great in the second half of the year. I think moving Julio down the lineup has helped. So Kirby was solid. Spire was good. Rogers was terrible. Brash got shelled there at the end. Let's take a look at our AAA, at least our minor league guys' key guys' stats. So Harry Ford, I think he's probably going to be around the Major League roster next year. Can play a little left field. Can give Raleigh some maybe first base opportunities. He may have to wait one more year. But Ford, strong season. I mean, only hit 7 home runs, but got 16 stolen bases, a 717 OPS, 2 WAR, so definitely a positive player. Kind of ended it on a bad note. But a pretty solid year overall for him. Asia Ramirez is out. Strained bicep. Again, we saw a lot of development. Still ends his season with an 821 OPS, 22 homers. Ended up with 23 stolen bases. So that is something that I did miss over the course of this season was the big stolen base number. He was a 1-9 WAR player. Looks like he was pretty good defensively. I really don't see a situation in which he is not at the major league level, maybe to start the season next year. He's a guy that I want to go ahead and sign to a big deal. I think go ahead and get that out of the way and make sure we keep him for the entirety of the series. But a really, really strong year there in AAA for an 18-year-old. Shenton, just kind of take a look. Shenton had a pretty solid season there at AA after having some really fun moments for us in the majors last year. Never ended up making it. He was solid. Cole Emerson, not a great first year for him at AA. We sent him back down to single A. I mean, saw some regression there in his contact, the steals and base run aggressiveness, which aren't huge deals. But this was not a successful campaign here for Emerson. He's up to a 65 overall, but he was dreadful. He was really, really bad. Did a nice job of drawing walks, but that is pretty much it. So, I mean, just a .9 ISO, there's not a lot to say here. He is a long way offensively. Defense is solid, but he is, whereas in real life, I think he's the top prospect for the Mariners. He's certainly looking a little bit farther down here because you got Cole Young. Ended up having a really strong season. 16 homers, 15 stolen bases, 819 OPS. He was nearly a 4 WAR player. He'll be 23 next year. He has seen pretty consistent growth. I think that he is probably, at this point in time, entering next year as maybe a starting second baseman at the major league level. Kind of just ignore Arroyo's stats here at AAA. 45 games, he was not great. Did not seem fully prepared to be up at AAA. But he was really, really good in AA for the second straight year. I think he is well on his way. He is certainly, in my mind, above Emerson as a prospect for us. But hopefully Emerson turns it around. Celestine and his little bit of action, 88 games, 626 OPS for a guy that was a little bit lower overall. Not too bad. John Simon, guy that we drafted in the second round last year, saw regression in his power, and that is his big thing because he is essentially a DH only. As an outfitter, he's got good speed, but the fielding, the reaction, the arm is not good. Did not really hit. He did deal with an injury for a large portion of this season, but the big thing, he hit 19 homers in 98 games, so that is at least a real positive. He is going to provide pop, but he's a guy that at 21 we thought would be a little bit of a ways away. You've got to get that vision discipline combo up pretty significantly. But I do think that by the time he's 24, I think he's a guy that could be a DH for us. So I'm not upset at all about what we saw here, at least statistically. Would have liked to have not seen the power versus lefties drop, but at least got the jump there against righties. None of these guys are real prospects. Farmelo had a really strong season. Just a C potential at 21 years old. He was solid, though. Good defender. The bat is just not going to be great. And then Lazaro Montez, 248, hit 12 homers, 11 stolen bases, 680 OPS. Solid season for him. He's kind of in a logjam here as we got, Burleson was several years of team control. Left. Marlowe's got essentially his entire time, and he's 28 with deep potential, but is at least a guy that I don't mind off the bench. Canzone here, 28. Obviously got some control. Is not a great. There may be an opportunity here for Montez, but it's probably going to be by his age 23 season as he gets maybe into that mid-70s, which kind of capping out his potential. I worry the bat is just never going to be good, but the defense should at least be solid. We'll take a look at our pitchers now. Obviously, Gary Valencia might be the top prospect in all of baseball at this point. 21 years old. We're saying he's out of LSU. Obviously doesn't throw very hard, but a 2.8 ERA and AA. He'll definitely start the season next year at AAA. Hopefully have a really nice stretch there and, be in our starting rotation as we begin to lose after the 2027 season is when we might be losing both George Kirby and Logan Gilbert. We'd like to have Valencia ready for that time. How did Emerson Hancock do? So Hancock was our lone reliever in 2025, and he was down at AAA this year. I wanted to get him some run as a starter, and he was great in AAA. Continue to see improvement. There's obviously not a lot of growth left to him, being just a C potential, but he was outstanding this year, so that's good to see. Mike Silva, 18 years old at AA, through 10 games, 2.18 ERA, not a high potential guy. Let's see what that is. Actually, 75. So he's pretty close to his peak, but I think could certainly be a back end of the rotation guy, maybe a long reliever. Because some of the stats are just not going to go up, but so much more because he's only got 4 overall points to work with. But certainly solid. Let's see. Walter Ford didn't do anything. David Parsons, 18 years old. We just let him develop. Looked like he developed pretty decently. Lost some stamina there, though. Up to a 66 at 18. Martin Diaz, we just tried to let him stay down at single A. Got good development out of him. 22 years old. He's still a little bit away from really getting that run at the top. So if we got a chance to look at all of those guys, let's see here. Let's get through this Kansas City series. We'll just simulate it. Ended up winning that one 7-1. Tyler Locklear out for a couple weeks with an injury. Adrian Ramirez will definitely get him back going. Look at the AAA team down there, killing it. Okay. So win the first game 7-1. Raleigh, home run, 4 RBIs. Rayleigh and Rosarena also knock in a couple of guys. Logan Gilbert, obviously outstanding. And we get this 9-1 win here. Got a home run, another home run from Raleigh. Another really good start there from Castilla. Lose this game that Brian Wu started. We do have Bryce Miller on the mound. I need to pitch a little bit with him. I think I do here because he is very, very likely to win the Cy Young. It's pretty much based off of wins, ERA combo, and he is kind of running away with both of those. So Bryce Miller, of course, we gave the big extension to just a little over $19 million a year through the 2031 season. So that'll put him through his age 32 season, I believe, is be how that ends up calculating 28, 29, 30, 31. Actually, yeah, 32 season. And he responded with a Cy Young campaign. I think he's been the best pitcher in baseball this year. Pitching WAR perspective, he has been worth 5. Glass now for the Dodgers been worth 4.9. Gilbert's actually right there along that same line. But let's we'll hop in here at least for a little bit and get kind of do the my version of the player lock where we at least get to defend and stuff as well. But it'll give us a chance to pitch with Bryce Miller here. We'll at least do a couple of innings, see how he looks, give us a chance to kind of talk about The entire team will take Rayleigh out, give him a day off. Ooh, who do I put there at first base, though? We'll just swap him in Burleson. Then I'll put Robles in there at the end. I'm not doing what I want to do here. There we go. Just to kind of control that there for a little bit. Just give it. So, yeah, as you see, we're kind of getting close here to the end of the season where the batting averages are at. Would love for Julio to at least get to 250 with a 300 OPS would be great. Raleigh's been awesome. Rengifo continues to climb. But the focus of today's kind of more full-length game, we haven't done a whole lot of them this year. 98 wins, looking to get to 100. We just might do it here. Bryce Miller looking to get his 9th straight win. What a year. I mean, been that good for us this year. We just took a look at the stats, but we'll get a chance to see it here in just a minute. Drew Thorpe on the mound for the White Sox. Let's quick manage. Get through. Seemed like that happened. End up knocking in 2 runs, which is already good to see. Bryce Miller versus Andrew Benintendi here. Open up with a 1-1 count. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more big picture stuff here. Be interested to see who we end up playing in the playoffs. Obviously was very disappointed with the way we finished things in 2025/year 1. Get up 1-0 in the wild card round against Minnesota, then lose the next 2 games. Pitching got away from us and just never really could catch up. Miller has obviously earned a spot in the rotation for sure. Probably will roll with him as the Cy Young. Probably at the, I mean, really he should be the one. We'll think about it before the next episode. That'll be when we actually start it. He probably should be our #1 pitcher. We might keep him at number 3 with Gilbert and Kirby ahead of him. We'll think about it. Almost gave up a big fly there to David Fry. But man, Miller's been really good. Really have liked what we have seen out of Raleigh as well. Burleson, I think, is still a plus player. I'm still really happy with the trade that we did with him. I think he's going to be a key, kind of added additional player for us. Probably not going to be planning him as a starter. We'll just kind of see how that plays out. A lot depends on what ends up happening with the Rosarena, who I would like to bring back. Robles, this is the last year for him. Don't know if we're really planning on bringing him back or not. A lot of big decisions are going to have to be made. I'm not really sure where the budget is going to look like here in a couple of years. We still obviously would like to keep either one as that ball is fouled away. But still really like to keep at least one of the Gilbert Kirby. It's just at this point, Bryce Miller gets a strikeout there. It's almost worth just letting them go to free agency and then focusing on one of them and trying to give them a big deal. Obviously, Seattle is not like the Miami Marlins, Tampa Bay Rays type of market. I think we can afford him. But, I'd like to give that big deal to Ramirez, especially if he comes up and plays really well in the first half next year. Or maybe we slow play it with him. But I kind of like the way the Atlanta Braves do it, where you sign these guys, buy out, even if it ends up being just a year or 2 of arbitration, signing these guys, keeping them through their prime. I mean, a guy like Ramirez, who would be, in theory, as Miller strikes him out there as well, as Ramirez comes up as a 19-year-old, you're talking about being able to sign him to a Julio Rodriguez, 10 to 12-year deal. I think that'd be really nice. I want to get a swing here with Crawford. Should not have done it. End up messing him up. So yeah, a lot to think about here this offseason. Hopefully we can get it figured out. Mariners still up 2-0 here. Bryce Miller certainly looks like he is going to be the Cy Young winner. I think that's so cool. I really don't know the last time an MLB game actually had somebody win this Cy Young. I probably did it with Strider a couple years ago when I did one with the Braves. But yeah, don't do that a whole lot, because just because of the way it's kind of put together, where you have to, it's all about wins, with kind of ERA being a secondary thing. A lot of that can be a little fluky, even if you have a guy that has a great year.
2 strikes.
Yeah, and it's cool that we decided to give Miller the extension instead of Brian Wu, or instead of giving Logan Gilbert $30 billion a year, and Bryce Miller immediately pays it all for us with a Cy Young campaign. Going to be a sub-2 ERA. He's already at 20 wins. This is one of the better, pitching seasons in recent memory. Hopefully we do finish it strong here. And I haven't pitched a ton with him this year. Obviously, we've done a lot of simulating and more kind of jumping into moments almost kind of thing. I think that's a really good way to kind of get through the season, still get some in-game action. But as we get maybe a little farther in the series, maybe trying to do like that one episode a month kind of thing. Right now I'm running on about 8 to 9 episodes in the regular season, which is a pretty good pacing to me as well, as Bryce Miller having himself a day on the mound. Close this out. Mariners, we are finishing the season really, really strong here. 8-2 in our last 10. Finished August really strong. I just want to hit here with Raleigh and Julio. We're playing a lot better than we did last year heading into the postseason, which I'm very excited about. We run homer from Raleigh in that first inning. What is he at now? I didn't even notice it. 35 homers, man. If this game was a little bit more to like real life and wasn't strictly a stat-based thing, a guy like Raleigh, catcher that puts up the offensive stats he did this year, he would arguably be the MVP as well. Was great this entire season. Julio's been off to a pretty decent stretch. I am struggling to hit with him.
2 strikes.
I always kind of have the one guy on every team. Like, I view Julio as like the franchise player, because he is. But I press a little bit too much with them. Like, if I play with my Braves, it's Ronald Acuna who I do it with. But then I mash with Olsen. I mash with Austin Riley, that kind of thing. But I tend to almost hit better with like the Jorge Polancos of the world, who just kind of have a smooth swing.
He's out.
But you're not like as pressurized, I guess, to try to make something happen. We get here to the 4th inning. Bryce Miller at 46 pitches now. Been perfect through the first 3 innings. Miller's the kind of guy, typically, as Andrew Benintendi is going to get a base hit after I said that Miller was perfect 2-3. But having a nice 5-pitch mix, the fastball splitter combo, to go along with the slider, sinker, sweeper. It's a lot to like here. I never went and looked to see who got traded.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I don't think I'd end up checking that at the deadline. Was not a whole lot of moves though right before it. 1-2 count. Another strikeout there with the splitter. That is Miller's 7th here. This in the 4th inning, so he is finishing this season about as strong as he could, at least to this point. That might be a base hit, and it is going to sneak by Crawford. 2 base hits. As soon as I start talking good, I end up jinxing Miller. So this is a very weird White Sox lineup.
That's ball 2. 2 balls,
count.
1 strike.
Adam Smith's got good pop.
Foul ball.
Rolled over that fastball. I think we'll pitch out this inning, and then we'll probably hop on out of here. Just kind of wanted to talk for a little bit here about Bryce Miller, like what we have seen so far from him after signing the deal. I thought that he was really good for us last year. I felt he was safe. Being able to give him the money at that price point to me was something really strong, getting him through his prime. And he turned this one over to Crawford to get out of that 4th inning. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. We will simulate that half inning. Just make sure nothing crazy here. Another strikeout there from Miller. Nice. Offense has not been great today, but Bryce Miller has more than made up for that. Two guys on here. Gives up a 3-run homer to Pavin Smith. We'll end up taking him out. Won't mess up his stats anymore. Unfortunate that at least we didn't give it up with me actually playing it myself. We'll just hop on out of here.
Ball 4, take your base.
End up losing that game 3-2. So unfortunately, we'll hop in there just to pitch a little bit with Miller, and he ends up giving up a 3-run homer in the 6th inning. Was great through the first 5. Actually, first 5 and a third. He kind of fell apart on him, gave up a single hit by batter, and then gave up a 3-run homer there to Pavin Smith. It ended up being a really good day there for Drew Thorpe after giving up a 2-run homer to Raleigh in the 1st inning. But I don't think that's going to keep Miller from winning the. We just won the AAA championship. Is that what that just said? End up winning that game 7-4. Winker, Julio, and Arozarena all go deep. Kirby pretty solid there on the mound. Really nice to see. I feel like Julio has finished off the season pretty strong after being brought down. Yeah, looks like okay. And then now let's finish things up. Can we win number 100 here against the White Sox? Top of the 7th. We'll go ahead and just simulate it. We do lose, so we end up at 99-63. 611 win percentage there. We are the number 1 seed. You're going to be taking on either the Royals or the Guardians. Looks like we got some things to talk about. We'll do league leaders, and then we'll check out awards. We'll take a look kind of stats and stuff around the league. That'll be how we finish up the episode. Really, really strong finish to the season. 6-4 over our last 10. Really distance ourselves from everybody else in the division. Can I actually look at the calendar? What did we go here in September? So 0-2, 3-2, 4-4. And we won 6 in a row. So 10-4, 12-5, 14-6. And then we end up losing 2 of the last 3. Okay. So a really strong finish there. So league leaders. Bryce Miller leads in ERA, win percentage, wins, while Logan Gilbert led the league in complete games, innings pitched, and Bryce Miller leads the league in WAR amongst pitchers. Wow. Okay. We'll do the stats around the league here in just a minute. Let's take a look, though, at his awards. Bryce Miller does, in fact, win the Cy Young. Marcell Ozuna wins the MVP, a 60-homer campaign. 60 homers. 60 at 35 years old. And we might be facing him in the playoffs. I mean, he was great last year for Atlanta too, but a 60-homer season for Marcell Ozuna. Shohei wins it in the National League. Actually had a really nice bounce-back campaign on the mound as well. He was great. Bryce Harper and Glass now behind him. Marcel Devers and Tristan Casas. 2 really good years for them as well. Bryce Miller wins your Cy Young in the American League. Gilbert ends up finishing 3rd. Glass now wins the Cy Young in the National League. Batting title is Carlos Correa and Christian Yelich. No major surprises there. Mason Miller, really nice bounce-back campaign for him. Got traded to Detroit last year. Was not very good for the Athletics or Detroit last year, but bounces back. Tanner Scott, of course, on the other side. Rookie of the Year does go to Brett Rios. Again, we did boost up his potential a little bit. He was a 2nd-round pick from Minnesota in the year 1 draft, just 5'8", 159. Hit 14 homers, but stole 38 bases, a 745 OPS as a 22-year-old rookie. Nice job there. Jacob Berry had a nice, solid season as well. Okay. Jeremy Weber, another 2nd-round pick in last year's class. Might boost his stats up there a little bit for winning Rookie of the Year in the National League. I think that's always a good thing to do. Hank Aaron Award goes to Gunnar Henderson and Shohei Ohtani. American League Gold Glove goes to Lugo, then Mitch Parker. Cal Raleigh wins it, so that's his second career Gold Glove, after he was also the All-Star Game MVP. Very cool. Tyler Stevenson, Christian Walker, and Wilson Contreras at first base. Andres Jimenez and Bryce Turang at second base. Third base, we got Garcia and Machado, Bobby Witt and Dansby Swanson. J.P. Crawford right there, behind there, just out of curiosity. Okay, yeah. Left field, Stephen Kwan, Helio Ramos. Got Cedane Rafaela. Top prospect. Former top prospect. For the Red Sox, obviously an all-time kind of defensive talent. Had a pretty good year offensively there as well. Julio ends up finishing third, so he has not won his first Gold Glove as of yet. Jacob Young does so in the National League. Then Colton Cowser and Dylan Cruz. What kind of year did Dylan Cruz have? Nice big boost for him. Solid campaign. 692 OPS is okay. Then Silver Slugger, Stanton and Shohei at DH. Connor Wong beats out Cal Raleigh. Are y'all kidding me? He did hit for 30 points higher than average. I guess it's fine. 892. Yeah, I mean, Connor Wong was the better hitter, that's for sure. Actually, really and truly was. Just a real shocking breakout campaign for him. But okay. First base is Casas and Bryce Harper. Second base is Brandon Lowe and then Ketel Marte. Rafi Devers and Mark Vientos at third base. Gunnar Henderson beats out Bobby Witt. That is, the American League shortstop room is just loaded. Trey Turner on the other side. I think Willie Adames had a really nice he did. Okay, yeah. I thought he had a really nice bounce-back campaign there for the Giants. Ellie De La Cruz got off to a really, really bad start. He ends up rebounding with a career year. He was outstanding, actually. But Trey Turner wins Silver Slugger. Then it's Ozuna, Judge, and Jordan, with Brent Rooker and Julio being right behind those guys in the outfield for the American League. Then it's Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto, Anthony Santander winning it there in the National League. So Acuna is another guy that had a really nice bounce-back campaign after a pretty lackluster 2025. Okay. So let's take a look kind of at our stats. J.P. Crawford. I mean, the OPS dipped here, kind of struggled a little bit late. But what I really wanted out of Crawford this year was to play good defense. He almost won the Gold Glove and get on base. 338 on base percentage. Just didn't slug quite as much. Home runs dropped. Doubles were up a little bit. The stolen bases were up. I mean, I think he was really, really good for us this year. 3.3 WAR. So we've gotten almost 7 wins out of him over the past couple of years. Contract player. We'll have to see how that plays out this offseason, but he continues to improve. I mean, mashes lefties. He is a really, really valuable player to us. Jesse Winker, we signed him less than $10 million a year instead of trying to really go up and pay for a Kyle Tucker in the offseason. And what we got out of Winker was, to me, exactly what I paid for, and more, really and truly. 290 average, 370 on base, 415 slugging, 14 home runs, hit 29 doubles. Obviously, I don't know that he played a single second in the field for us. I guess he did play. He played 9 innings in the field this year. Worth 2 WAR. To me, as a 32-year-old DH, we got really nice boosts. I mean, he looks, you feel really good about him being a really good hitter again. He got off to a great start, slowed down a little bit at times, maybe at the plate, but still, I mean, I'm not going to complain about a 785 OPS for less than $10 million a year. He was pretty consistently good all year, even if he was great early and was more, again, just kind of leveled off as the year went on. But I have zero complaints about what we got out of Winker. Luis Rengifo had a horrendous start, was hitting about 200 around the end of July. Ends up hitting 252 because he hit like 350 the rest of the way. Ends up with a 716 OPS, 15 homers, 22 steals. So, right around the high end of what you can kind of expect, I think, from him from a power perspective. Did largely see growth. Um, and I think played a fine defense. What did his WAR end up being? Just 0-2, but he got out of the negative. So obviously not exactly what I wanted out of a $13 million a year player, but he was really, really good on the back half. I think he's going to be a key part to whatever we end up accomplishing in this postseason, and I'm expecting the OPS to be more around what happened in 2025 and 2024 heading into next year. Cal Raleigh obviously was great enough for us to give him the pretty good size extension. Nearly an MVP caliber player this year, an 881 OPS with 35 home runs. Still did not win the Silver Slugger at catcher because Colton Wong had an outstanding season. But Raleigh ends up being worth almost 7 WAR this year. 6.9. The walk rate was up. The strikeout rate was way down. ISO, one of the biggest of his career. He was exceptional. Won another Gold Glove. He is as much a franchise player as Julio Rodriguez is and Bryce Miller is. Like he's that level of a player here for this franchise. He was exceptional. Huge bounce back campaign from him from a power perspective while he still boosted his average and on base percentage. Nice. Julio, again, sees kind of an off year here at the plate. What I would love to see is this 854 OPS again. I would even like to see this 818 OPS again. But he's been in the league 5 years. He's got his 5th straight 20 homer, 20 stolen base campaign. The power was a little down this year, for sure. Doubles were up, home runs were down, doubles were up, triples were up, stolen bases kind of right in line. Just did not get on base a ton. I think sliding him down to the 5th spot is probably better off for us, unless we can really get that OPS back into like this 325 to 335 mark. For him, Luke Raley was not great in the back half of the year, but did finish the season strong. 3 homers, 11 RBIs over his final 10. I mean, he's 31 years old, still got 2 years of arbitration. He crushes righties. I don't know how there's not any. He's definitely going to be in the lineup, I guess. I'm kind of wording it wrong. I can't get my thoughts out. But he has earned the spot. He's now at 3 years hitting between 240 and 250 with 22-plus home runs, slugging north of 460. The OPS is incredibly consistent. Had a massive back half of 2025. Had a great start to 2026. Leveled off a little bit, but I mean, Raley is going to be playing for this team next year. It might be in left field if Adrian Ramirez comes up, but Luke Raley is going to be playing for us. Arozarena. I think this is our biggest offseason piece, even more so than J.P. Crawford, because we do have a Cole Young that I do think could play shortstop for us next year, even though I would rather potentially bring him up at second base. Arozarena, 811 OPS with 27 home runs, 27 steals. I don't know. I don't know what to do with him. He was so much better than he was last year. I almost didn't offer him arbitration last year. Because of the low OPS number, he's kind of a power speed combo guy, or at least stolen base guy. But really boosted up, had a huge contract year. I think he's going to want $14, $15 million. I just don't know if I feel comfortable giving him that long term. But a massive year for Arozarena. Still just barely a half WAR above. I don't really get that, I guess. 811 OPS, I guess from your left fielder is maybe not the end-all, be-all. But, a huge jump from what he's been average-wise. Really nice jump back up on on-base percentage. And the best slugging percentage he's ever had in a full season in his career at 31. He's earned a big payday. Jorge Polanco, this is my guy. Really ended up having another great year. He had a really nice second half of the season, just like Rengifo did. Not that he was dreadful in the first half, but really had a nice second half. Really had a big boost to his average. Hits more home runs, knocked in more runs. On base percentage is up. The slugging is way up. He was a 2-WAR player. I mean, I liked him last year, and he was a negative WAR player. Polanco's trying to get to that age. It depends on how much it costs. That's the thing. We'll see. See how the offseason works. Burleson ended up playing a little right field for us in the back half of the year. Kind of started the season playing first base against lefties, actually, as a lefty guy. Was just kind of fit that role really nicely for us. Put together a 727 OPS, kind of what I wanted when we traded for him. 6 homers, doesn't provide a lot of pop. Just 13 extra base hits in 83 games, but I'm not hating on what we got out of him. He even got 7 stolen bases. Victor Robles. This is it for him. I think his time in Seattle is probably done. Just not enough upside with him at the plate. I mean, still ended up with 23 stolen bases this season. We moved him down from that leadoff spot down the lineup. The on base percentage is fine. The home runs are okay. I mean, he hit 35 doubles last year. Slugging, the stats are kind of similar, but it just felt off this year. I don't know. Roughly the same player he was last year. Again, it maybe just kind of depends on how much it ends up costing. Mitch Garver actually had a really nice finish to the season. His last 10 games, he crushed it with an 11-11 OPS. So obviously he only played 29 games, so a huge finish, including having one of the most significant moments of this season, hitting the walk-off home run against Houston in the last episode. That was a really cool moment. Or no, not a walk-off, but a home run to give us the lead. Excuse me. That was really cool. Maybe it was a walk-off. No, I can't remember. They brought Harry Ford up. Obviously, he did not play any in the majors this year. So we'll have to check out Marlowe's stats. Ryan Bliss, he's fine for what he is off the bench. We did hit one of those 3 home runs with him, which was really cool. It was a no-doubter at that. He's fine. Good bench guy, I would say. Where is Marlowe at? There's Cade Marlowe. Again, he was okay. Not really anything else to say about that. Now let's take a look at this pitching staff. So as we head into the playoffs, Miller definitely is going to get brought up here. Kirby was really, really good this year. Logan Gilbert was even better. I will say Castillo was really rock solid, was pretty good. Brian Wu was really good. But Bryce Miller obviously wins the Cy Young, makes the All-Star team, gets the big contract, makes it worth every second of that. I think Brian Wu is another. I think this is a contract we need to go ahead and get on the books as well. Starting rotation would pretty much have to be the best in baseball. Bullpen had its up and down, had a really bad stretch there coming out of the All-Star break for 2 or 3 weeks. Was not good at all. Almost made me try to force a trade somewhere just to try to add somebody. But Gott ends up being okay. Thornton, I would say, was fine. Kind of struggled there at the end, but coming off of a couple of good outings. Snyder, not as good as he was last year, but I think it's perfectly okay. Matt Brash struggled at the end of the year. Was a sub-4 ERA for the majority of it. Did not really do a great job as our closer while Andres Munoz was out. But he's fine. Gregory Santos, solid finish when he got brought back up to the majors. Taylor Rogers was perfectly fine for a 35-year-old that regressed the entire year. Got what we wanted and needed out of him. Spire was really good, again, for the second straight year, 72 innings. He was exceptional. Andres Munoz, essentially unhittable, a 114 ERA. So, yeah, we'll take a look just kind of quickly at where we ranked statistically. So we were 5th in batting average in the majors. We were 6th in runs scored. Doubles, a little bit lower on this one. Just 22nd in doubles. Triples. Let's see if we're maybe happening to be a little higher with this. 16th in triples. Home runs. Middle of the pack-ish. Tied for 13th. And that number, obviously, again, tied for 6th in RBIs. We were 2nd in stolen bases. Rosarena, Winker, Winker with 24 stolen bases. I don't know that I noticed that. Plus, you obviously have Julio, who's right there as well. Okay, Winker, I hear you. I did not see that, I don't think. Let's see. Slugging percentage. We're going to be a little bit lower on this, 9th. The average kind of carrying that on base percentage. We were 4th. Jesse Winker, and then, of course, the big Kyle Raleigh jump and the Rosarena as well really helped that out. And now let's go to, what about fielding percentage? For a team that's not supposed to be very good defensively, we were 8th in fielding percentage, which I know is not really that important when it comes to overall fielding. Obviously, easily led the league in ERA. It's really cool to see. We easily led the league in complete games, obviously with Gilbert getting 5 of those, Bryce Miller with the other 2. Shutouts, 5th in shutouts. We were 5th in saves, tied for 3rd in the fewest blown saves. 1st in a lot of these categories, 4th in home runs allowed. By far the best team at not allowing walks. We struck out, and that's without me playing a bunch of full games or anything, which is kind of crazy. Only 20th in strikeouts. That's the thing that can kind of get worrying in the postseason. When bats are better, times you're going to really need that big strikeout. The Dodgers and the Phillies obviously went above 100 wins because we ended up at 99. We had the 3rd best record in baseball. Right there in that elite group, I mean, getting above 60% win percentage in baseball is outstanding. That's very, very high level overall. And we'll take a final look at the standings. We're starting the American League East. The Orioles end up winning that one by 6. Looks like the Red Sox did win the wild card. Okay. The Twins, Guardians, and Royals all won between 89 and 92 games and all made the playoffs there in the Central. We were the only team above 500 or even at 500 in the American League West. Guardians, Royals, Red Sox edge out the Yankees in the wild card there, so we do not see New York. And we're not going to see the Twins for sure in the first round, but they were really good again. National League East, you had the Phillies won the East by 14 games over the Braves. Mets finished below 500. Finished very strong to almost get to 500, though. Cubs, Reds, Brewers in the Central. So the Central divisions in each of these leagues provided 6 teams, which is pretty crazy. But the Cubs end up winning that division by 7 over the Reds and Brewers, both of them. Cardinals were dreadful. And the Dodgers make the playoffs, but the Padres do not. 110 wins for the Dodgers, 101 for the Phillies. The Braves, Reds, and Brewers are your wild card teams. Not a lot of late season drama, as the Pirates were 4 games out of the wild card there. Yankees were 2 games out. I would say the American League Central, I mean, that definitely comes down to September there with how close that division was. But that's pretty much it. It was not a whole lot of drama on the back half of the season. And now let's see who we are going to be playing. Going to be taking on the Guardians whenever we jump into the playoffs at the beginning of the next episode, as we are about 73 minutes into this recording. The Guardians beat the Royals 2-0. Minnesota beat Boston 2-0. Atlanta beat Cincinnati 2-0. And the Cubs got beat by the Brewers 2-0. Okay. So taking on the Cleveland Guardians, we'll do 2 games in the next episode that will be out on in a couple of days. Yeah, definitely excited to get started with that one. I'll kind of decide how I end up wanting to do this pitching rotation, but probably will be Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, just in case we really need that middle of the series push from Miller. I think I'd like to have our Cy Young guy there. But yeah, it's going to be it for me today. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe. And check out my other work on the channel. I mean, obviously, the Mariners franchise is kind of becoming the focal point of the channel here over the last 2 months or so. But I do still have a Tulane Green Wave Dynasty on College Football 25 that we are getting very, very, very close to finishing up, as College Football 26 is coming out soon. And I do have the Atlanta Hawks franchise on NBA 2K25. We're in the playoffs there in year 3. But, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time.